Something's with you, everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight.
Hey y'all, Shayla from Making Lemonade from Lemons, and today I'm working on peeling and cutting up about 20 pounds of potatoes. And what I'm doing is I'm working on canning those potatoes. So the process is pretty simple. You peel and cut them up according to the National Center for Home Food Preservation. You should par cook them for about 2 minutes and then take them out, put them in the jars, and put clean water in. And that's the way that I generally can my potatoes. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I am going to go ahead and get these peeled and cut so that I can get started on finishing the canning process. What I have here, of course, I've got my cutting board that I'm using to cut the potatoes on. I have a really nice, fine, sharp knife. I've got my bowl here for my peels that are going to go into the compost. Then I've got a bowl here that I have cool water in, and that's where they're going to go to be rinsed off to make sure there's no dirt on them, and it also helps to soak out some of the starch in the potato. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on peeling these. This is my favorite peeler. What I'll do is I will link where I got this in the description below. So I'm not going to keep you around while I peel all these potatoes because you guys know how to peel a potato. I just want to make sure that I make sure to get off all of the peel, and if there's any spots like that, I don't know if you can see it. So any spots like that right there, I'm going to cut out. This peeler has this little nifty tool right here, so you can dig it out, and that's what I use. So I just dig it out like that. Alright, so I'm gonna get busy.
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. Eyes blue like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel.
So the first thing that I need to do now that I have the potatoes peeled and they've been soaking for a little bit in water is that I need to par cook them. So what I'm going to do is I'm getting the water in this up to a boil, and then I'm going to start putting them in for about 2 minutes, cook them for about 2 minutes, and then I'll pack the jars. And because these are going to be hot, then my liquid that I'm going to put in, it needs to be hot, and the water in my canner also needs to be hot. So I have the water underneath my canner already on. So anytime that you are doing canning, pressure canning, you need to make sure that if you're doing anything hot, that everything needs to be hot. If you are doing it cold, then everything needs to be cold. That way there's no shock to the jars. I also have, this is going to make my life a little bit easier. So this pot, as you see, this has holes in it, and so it's basically a steamer and strainer. I'll put the potatoes down in here, and then I'll put them in the water that's back in here for 2 minutes, and then I can just lift this out whenever I'm ready to take them out. That way, it's easier that way than it would be to put it in the water and then we have to spoon them out that way. So we're gonna get started.
It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
I forgot to mention that when you put the potatoes in, it will bring the temperature of the water down. You will have to bring it up to boiling temperatures before you can start the 2 minutes boiling time. And then once you have got that done, then you can take them out of the water. So I'm gonna let these come up to temperature, and then once they come up to temperature, I will let them boil for 2 minutes, and then I will take them out of the water. Okay, so I have taken the potatoes out, and there's some cool water in here, which I don't really want it to cool off too much, but it's just to keep it from continuing to cook while I'm filling the jars. So I'm gonna fill the jars up, and then right here I have my electric tea kettle, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the water boiling. I have salt already in the bottom of the jars, so if you want to use salt you can. You don't have to, but if you're going to use salt, generally it's a teaspoon per quart. It takes a lot to season potatoes anyway, so I just put a little bit extra in. It won't hurt. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my funnel and I'm going to start filling up these jars. Okay, so I just tapped it on the bottom of my hand to make sure I could get it all in, and then put a couple more right there. Alright, so you just want to make sure that you fill the water up to here, which is approximately an inch headspace. I'm waiting until this water heats up, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these jars up. As always, you want to clean the rims of the jars with a little bit of vinegar and a paper towel or a towel. And then after that, I'm sorry, that's kind of loud. After that, you're going to put the rings and lids on and put them in the can.
It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
Now that I have them in the canner, I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to get it up to 11 pounds of pressure, and it's going to be at 11 pounds of pressure for 40 minutes. I will let you see it whenever it comes out. Okay, they're done. The pressure has dropped, and the little release valve has dropped as well. And then I let it cool down for a little bit. And so now I'm going to start pulling the jars out of the can. That is what they look like. Beautiful. Okay, so it's really not very difficult. It's pretty easy, and so whenever we get ready to make a stew or a soup or something like that, we'll already have potatoes that are cut up, and we can just pour them in. This was only a 10-pound bag. I didn't get the other 10-pound bag done, so I still have more to can. And so I know that it'll give me approximately 7 quarts of potatoes for 10 pounds. So thank you guys so much for spending time with me today.